series. Oh my goodness. This is video 263, and I say this all the time. I can't believe I'm putting out this many videos, but I'm so happy to have new people who have subscribed that are really interested in evolution and the spirit and how do we activate spiritually. So as I say every single video, no, I am not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I am not a psychologist or psychiatrist. I focus totally, completely, and fully on the energy of our systems. Our systems are not only our body, but it's our mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. And then I also work with our light bodies. So there are, if you didn't know this, about 18 bodies in which we are always in operation. And so if we don't understand how our energy works, we are certain to be manipulated. So if you don't want to be manipulated, you want to tune in and learn about how to be in sync, okay? So today I am talking about 4 specific aspects of trust, and I am also going to be addressing the law of correspondence in every single video this week, because most people don't understand what the natural laws are. And I have listened to reels where people say, oh, this is a natural law, and it's actually not a law. So one of the laws of the natural laws, which all these videos are in alignment to, is the law of correspondence. Now, why is that law important as it relates to trust? Because the inner world vibrates to the outer world. So what you see in the outer world is a reflection of what's happening on the inner world. So if you want to understand trust, then you want to trust yourself, because if you're not trusting, it's because of something that you are resonating with, right? So if you don't trust yourself, how are you going to trust other people, right? Hi, Eric. Good to see you. Hello, people starting to join in. Good to see you all. Thank you for being here. So the topic is on trust, and there are 4 aspects of trust that I want to address. And the final aspect is going to be about how you can get more trust within yourself and with others, because we're always operating in the laws of correspondence, and the natural laws are always at play. Whether you know them or understand them, they're happening. So it's best to be more aware and congruent, right? So the law of correspondence essentially is this in relationship to trust. If you don't trust yourself, you're going to resonate with people who betray trust, right? So when I work with teams, and teams will say they want to build trust, and you know, I have no problems doing what teams want to do, but really, you know, these people are manipulating each other constantly, and they're not telling the truth, and they're really not doing their inner work. So how are they going to build trust in a team when there's a bunch of nefarious actions taking place? Nearly impossible. But hey, I'm a consultant. I will measure trust. I will show you how to build trust within. But to build trust in a team takes really honest communication, which most people don't have. So if you want to build trust, you got to have honest communication, and you have to listen to your inner guidance. So that's number 2. You must build trust through listening to your inner guidance. Most people ignore it or discount it or deny it, or they trust somebody else over themselves. This is very common when it comes to medical, often because people feel like they don't understand the language of their own body, which is problematic because this is your vessel, you know. So why would anybody else, why would some doctor that you see once a year, maybe twice a year, if you have chronic issues, you might see them more, but why would they know more about your body than you? They don't. You know your body better than anybody else, but you need to understand, and you can't understand if you're not listening. So the second aspect of building trust is to listen. Listen to your inner wisdom and your inner guidance. The best way to do that is always going to be to listen to your heart. Now, every single video people say, how do I listen to my heart? And I say every single time, you must bring your attention into your heart. It's difficult. It's a practice. It's not impossible, but it is possible. And it is practical. And it is how you build yourself spiritually. So you need to learn this aspect if you want to become congruent. Now, most people spend all day listening to their thoughts, and their thoughts are incongruent and misaligned. So you can see that's a problem. So number three is confidence. Trust is about confidence. Where does that confidence come from? Comes from an inner knowing. You cannot have confidence without an inner knowing. So I'm going to tell you a really short story here. When I was teaching an emerging leadership program, I had somebody that said, they were told to fake it till they make it with confidence. And they were so frustrated that their closest friends would say, you're not very confident. And they would give him feedback all the time about how he wasn't confident. And he really didn't understand why people were perceiving him as not confident when he was pretending to be confident. And that's because fake it till you make it creates incongruent energy, right? It's mixed, it's mismatched. So he decided to start working with me. I worked with this young manager who's now a senior executive and a very confident senior executive at that. He's been promoted multiple times. Why? Because he understands confidence is not what you think it is. Confidence is an internal game. You cannot fake it. Now, if you want to be more confident, I can help you for sure. But understand this, confidence is all about the law of vibration. The vibration is connection, okay? Connection to your inner house, your spiritual house. Okay, so number four about trust that is required, and this is where most people fail, myself included. I have made this mistake so many times, it's so frustrating, and I trust myself. I work on it every day. I listen every day. I make a practice and obviously a business. You must be willing to see clearly. That means that you must see things as they are, not how you hope them to be, not how you want them to be, but as they are. Most people do not see things clearly. They see things the way they want them to be, the way that makes them comfortable. When you want to build trust, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable, to see as it is, completely and totally, so you can navigate differently. That is how you build trust. Trust is not about trusting other people. It's about building it within yourself, because your inner guidance will always show you. Your inner guidance will always show you where to trust, how to trust, and how to progress and move forward. Okay, so I'm going to answer questions that are relevant to the topic of trust. Clearly, what religion I am is not appropriate here, because this is not about religion. This is about spirituality, and it doesn't matter what I am. It doesn't matter what you are, and it matters who you are in your heart, okay? So I'm going to start with that. Eric, good to see you as always, my friend. So appreciative of you every single day, dropping your name in here and saying hello. It means a lot. Hey, Peter, good to see you here. Yes. Oh, that reminds me. This topic of trust is coming from a recommendation from a member who wrote in saying, Kiannaa, can you address these topics? And look I am addressing them, and I am going through every nook and cranny of this message so I can address what you guys want to listen to and talk about. So today was about trust. Okay. Iron is saying, I need your advice, please. Yesterday, my friend was showing me his pet snake. I got close to the snake and it attacked me. The snake attacked me. I smacked the first of all, Iron, I think your friend does deserve an apology. What your behavior, because you were in fear, is irrational. And to hurt any living being goes against the spiritual house. Now, I know that you were afraid. Then if you were afraid, you should not have gone to touch or get close to a snake in which you were not proficient in doing. So I think you were in the wrong here, Iron. I think being hostile and violent towards any living being, and you shouldn't have gotten close. That's your mistake, not the snake's. And so I do believe that your friend deserves an apology, and maybe even buy the snake some snake food. That's how much that action that you have done needs repair, because it's not just about the snake. Everything is a reflection of who you are. And when I talk about at the end of the year, we need to fix things that were where we did wrong, where we misbehaved, where we need to correct or recorrect or repair our relationships. This would be one, Iron. You have a lot of lessons that you could learn from this experience. Don't make it about the snake. Make it about you learning to be a better human, you learning to be a better evolution of yourself, you being in alignment. And if your friend wants an apology, don't be in your ego. Apologize. You shouldn't have touched that snake. And if you were afraid of snakes, you shouldn't have been around the snakes. You know, that's not his fault. That's it. I hope that helps. Okay, bye. Oh, hey, Wendy. Good to see you here. Okay, hi, great contact, especially about doctors, not just trusting them because the doctors, and not just trusting them because they are doctors, because that's what I was taught. Yes, I saw that with my mother, who was undergoing treatment, and the doctor was giving her advice that I would say was misguided. But my mother was brought up in the old school ways too, Wendy, and she took their advice. And, you know, there's consequences for not listening to her spirit. Now, my mother, I would say, you know, it's all about the soul journey. And who am I to step in and say that she's going against her soul journey by not listening to the doctor? All I could do was provide different information to her and allow her to make her own choices. And it was a big lesson. I learned a lot of lessons from my mother being sick and ill and in the system of the medical system. And I would say all of the lessons were quite eye-opening and uncomfortable. But yes, we must know that one of the laws is consent and authority, right? One of the natural laws is about consent and authority. But if we have a lack of trust, right, we will give our trust to other people and defer our authority. And as we see, and just before I put on this video, as I see online, you know, there are people who are suffering great ramifications from trusting others over trusting themselves. But I don't want to make this about any kind of political move. It's just more important for you to learn what trust really comes down to. Okay, y'all, I gotta get something for my back. This seat is too big. Hold on. Okay. So sorry about that. I need a cushion for my back here so I can relax. Okay, so yes, our body is a divine, living, intelligent organism that speaks to us through symptoms. Yes, but what we want to do is not wait for a symptom. We want to listen to our bodies on a regular basis and not make judgments on the body. Most people are making judgments about their body. Okay? This is normal things. Trust is nothing but giving a chance to someone and test them from time to time. I would respectfully disagree with that. Trust is huge, because if we don't understand trust, then we take chances that are misguided. And a lot of people who grew up with families teaching them to trust words over actions and behaviors get hurt, right? Because we're taught, if you were taught to do what I say, not what I do, at least I heard that in my family, then you will be in trouble, right? You're going to find yourself in one conundrum after another. However, if you decide to observe people's behaviors, they will tell you they're not trustworthy. They will. But this goes to point number 4 in the aspects. Like, you have to be willing to see people as they are. And when I say that people will show up as pretty and attractive, and they will be evil and yucky inside, you need to see that. How do you know they're evil and yucky? They will show you through their behaviors. They will tell you things about other people that you have absolutely no business knowing. This happened with one of my dearest, closest friends, who's clearly not a friend anymore, but I wasn't willing to see her as she was, and I paid for it. So there are consequences. Don't fool yourself by thinking that you know what the consequences are. The consequences are detrimental to your energetic bodies, your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, your spiritual body. And let's just say you continue to have a relationship with somebody because you think they won't do it to you. You will be sick. You will get sick, because those people infect you, and they infect you energetically, and they siphon your life force, and they will take you down so they can be lifted up. So don't be fooled. Don't put your trust in other places that they don't deserve. You know, allow people to earn their trust through their behaviors. Eric. I don't know where your mobile charger is, Eric. Hello, Russia. Ooh, we got a lot of deleted chats here. Somebody is saying just don't trust anybody. That's not the answer. The answer is the trust is not about trusting other people. That's why people are so misguided about trust. That's called a reversal in energy. A reversal current is that people think. This is how reversal currents happen. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Reversal, I'm going to actually record this one, okay, y'all? I'm going to try an experiment. I'm going to try a reel here. Reversal currents are coming through your thoughts. And one good example of this is you think that you need to trust other people. You don't need to trust other people. You need how to trust your inner wisdom. Stop putting it on other people to be responsible for trust. You need to trust yourself in relationship to other people, situations, events, whatever it is. You must learn how to listen to that inner wisdom. Okay, I don't know if I did that correctly, but that was really good. Okay, somebody says they're a drunk. Okay, the fact that you're calling yourself a drunk is as not, I mean, if that's the truth, and you have some heinous secrets, secrets make you sick. So that it makes sense that you're drinking because secrets make you sick. So stop keeping secrets. Stop keeping secrets and you won't, I mean, one of the reasons why you're drinking so much is probably why you drink. You know, secrets make you sick and alcoholism is an illness, right? So don't keep secrets. I don't keep secrets. Don't keep secrets. That's my advice. Do not keep any secrets. Don't keep secrets for people and don't keep your own secrets. Secrets make you sick. They erode your inner spiritual house. Eric is saying you could trust God. 100%, Eric, I agree. Trust in those energies of the most powerful, for sure. God, creator, source energy. Never leaves you without resource. Lord is saying secrets harm the soul. Secrets are so dangerous. People think that they're not, but they really are. Again, a reversal thought. You see how many there are? I was going to do a whole video on language, but it's so detailed and it's such a mind conundrum. I don't know how many people would be interested in that. I don't drink alcohol. Alcohol drink me. Well, that's called unconscious. And that would also be probably an aspect of an entity. You know, entities will tell people to go take a drink at 8 o'clock in the morning. They'll tell you to do things like take your life or go shoot up a school. That's what entities do. That's what mind control does. When you don't have any real control of your own mind, any mental discipline, if you can't even discern when your thoughts are yours or not yours, you will be manipulated, period. If I don't keep them as secrets, my life will be destroyed. Well, it sounds like you're already destroying your life. So my question would be like, it's already bad. So being in the truth, at least you will be pure in the heart and you will have freedom, because right now you don't even have freedom. You don't have freedom to be. You don't have freedom to communicate. You've been enslaved to a secret. How about secret recipes? I don't keep any secret recipes. I'm not a cook, but secrets are not good, period. Any kind of secret, not good. A person is nice to be here again. Glad. Oh, I'm so glad. Kevin, hey, good to see you here. Zir, yes. Doctor is asking, again, I'm getting asked, am I a therapist or a psychologist or a psychiatrist? Doctor, no. I do energy psychology. I help people align physical, mental, emotional, and spiritually. That's how I do that. I do that through adjusting patterns. How do I do that? Well, you have to check it out. Thank you so much, A person. So glad that you're here and you like the videos. Please give me a thumbs up and share if you feel inclined. I am doing these videos every day to align to the natural laws and help people understand what they are. Today, this week, every video I will be talking about the natural law of correspondence, which I talked about at the front of the video. So if you missed it, go back and check it out. You can ask questions, yes, if they're about the topic. Today's topic is about trust. Thank you so much, Sierra. Appreciate your beautiful comment here. Carrie is saying, I am a recovering alcoholic. When you've had enough, you'll quit. Okay, thank you, Carrie. Congratulations. Lord's ear. I get a lot of, I don't know, maybe it got deleted. If I didn't read your question, maybe it wasn't really a relevant question. I don't know. Put your questions in the comments here. Peter's helping me. Thank you so much, Peter. So appreciate you and your questions and your feedback and your help and your support. So appreciative. It actually makes my day to have a moderator on here. I had no idea how much a moderator could help. Any questions about trust? I think the hardest one is to see clearly, because the ego mind will really come in and like, but I really wanted him to be nice, or I really wanted him to be good. So for example, this weekend I went to a birthday party for a friend. It was just like a dinner. And we went there, it was at our favorite restaurant, and there was just a vibe. Let me tell you, there was a vibe at the table that was not pleasant. And it was a birthday boy, it was a man, birthday man. And he was in a sour mood for his birthday celebration. And it was just not how I like to spend my dinners out. Let me just tell you, I don't mind taking my food to go to eat it in a great environment, but which is exactly what I did. Okay, what questions do you all have about trust? Alex is asking me, can I play a musical instrument? Not proficiently. I have a drum. I've always loved the drums, but I'm not proficient. My dog does not appreciate my drumming. And yeah, so that's my answer to that question. Oh, this is a good question. I did not see this question. Is it about word tolerance? It's dirt word. Either you accept or you don't. I find it's intolerable, which is ironic. What is intolerable? I don't understand what you're saying. Lord, I don't see a question there. Thank you for the comment on the photo. Yes, I love it. You don't realize my social life will be destroyed if I share my secrets with anyone. Do I think therapy would help? I'm not a therapist. I'm not a proponent of therapy. I think traditional therapy with the right therapist can work, but I think most of them are not that good. Not all of them, but some of them. I think you need to have a better set of values. Right now you're valuing friends. So you're valuing a social life over your health and wellness. So I would ask you to look at what it is that you truly value. And clearly, trust is not one of the things that you value. Clearly, health is not what you value. So I would look at what it is you are actually doing and see, is that what you want to continue to go down that path? Because you're already miserable, you're drunk, you're unconscious, you probably have entity attachments. Do I think traditional therapy would help with entity attachments? They don't even look at that. And alcoholism creates a vulnerability, it creates an addiction, and you must address the actual addiction at its core. If it's alcoholism, usually alcoholics turn it into something else like exercise or some other obsessive behavior. So I would just look at your values and align to values that make sense for your future. A living trust, maybe you have some ideas. What about a living trust? I mean, there's a document here in the United States that they create before people die that you have. So when you die, your assets don't go to other people. But I don't think that's what you're talking about. So what do you mean about living trust? Kevin, I didn't see any questions. NPC. Do I think that you should? I'm not giving recommendations on therapy here. I'm not a believer in traditional therapy. So you need to be able to make your own decisions about what is appropriate for you. If you are going to indulge in drugs, that's a problem. That's not just a problem for you, but everybody who's in your sphere of relationship or your sphere. Kevin, if I don't know if your stuff is getting, I'm not ignoring you. I don't see any questions. I'm answering questions. So if you have a question about trust, let me know. Hey, Salvo, you missed the first part of this. Highly recommend watching the on replay. I don't eat honey unless it's in a smoothie. I don't understand what that question is. The questions need to be in relationship to the topic. If I don't answer your question, it's because it's not in relationship. Somebody is asking me what certifications I have. What do you mean? Certifications in what? I have many certifications. A lot of them don't apply to anything that I'm talking about here. A lot of them do apply. I have experience. What is it that you want to know that I do? If you want to see my credentials, go to my website. That's where they are. Yeah, NPC, drugs are a problem. Yeah. And if you're a problem to everybody around you, then stop being who you've been and change. Who are you becoming? That's what I would ask. Who are you becoming? My values are focused around loving my family and focusing on my career. You need to be more specific. That is not specific. What are your 5 values? 5 or 10 values. You could go back to the beginning of my Being in Sync series, and I talk about values pretty much every day for the first 10 days. But you must be specific about your values. That's not specific enough. Everybody here knows that if you do not know what your 5 to 10 values are, you will be misguided every single time. Your problems lie in your emotional life. This is a great question. Your problems do not stay in the emotional, you see. If you have, this is what incongruence is, everybody. Okay, I'm going to record this again. Let me take my glasses off. Okay, y'all. Incongruence is when you have a pattern running in any aspect of any of your bodies, physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual bodies, that are not aligned, that we'll call an incongruence. So if you have problems in your emotional life, that's your emotional body, that aspect is going to impact every body, your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Nothing is working independently. Hopefully that helped you. Okay, I'm trying to do reels at the same time. I'm getting very advanced here. Oh, Oliver posted the website below. My highest level of education is a master's degree in organizational leadership and conflict management. But I have other certifications, none of them which I would say anything about who I am. And I would say even my degrees, to me, I mean, I'm glad I have them, but I have met people with PhDs. I have met people from MIT and Harvard. And let me tell you, their degree, what I learned is that they're human and their degree does not give them credibility with me. If anything, it makes me understand how much conditioning they've been under. Yes, Salvo, the first 20 minutes I did the cap, and then I went into Q&A. Thank you so much, Oliver, for posting that and being here. I don't know what ready... Okay, let me just say this a little bit. I think you said you're ready to neck myself. I think that means... suicidal thoughts or ideations, or let me tell you all about people who do this, okay? Suicide is never the answer. It's absolutely never the answer. And why suicide is not the answer is because it will lock you into what's called hive mind. You think you're going on to greener pastures, and maybe eventually you might, but not without some major issues, because the hive mind is the shadow body. So we have our bodies, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual body, but we're also part of the collective consciousness, which has this aspect that's called the shadow body. If you are somebody who decides to dishonor God, source energy, creator, and take your life, what essentially is happening is you're being siphoned away from God force. This is my assessment, okay? And you could go and listen to somebody else and they would have a different perception of it. So we all have different perceptions. But I will say this, what happens is you will get absorbed into this hive mind, the shadow mind, and it will create a more hell than you could possibly even comprehend. And you know, it hurts my heart to even say this because I know a lot of people have taken these actions because they're infiltrated. And when you're infiltrated, that means you have weakness. And when you have weakness, you have vulnerabilities. When you have vulnerabilities, you have rips, tears, holes in your energy field. You need to clear those. You need to learn how to clear those. You need to connect with God, your creator, source energy. You must build a house, the spiritual house within, because suicide is not an answer. Violence is never, ever an answer. Okay, let me see. Looking for questions. Kevin is asking, do you trust your partner or family? And the question is I trust them in relationship to the information I have within, my inner guidance. If my husband or family was doing something, I would know that if it was congruent or incongruent. And then he would certainly know as well, right? Because that would be a problem with our relationship. Trust is not an issue in my relationship or with my family. However, I can tell you I have friends that track their partners. And to me, what's the point? If you have to track your partner on their phone, that's a lack of trust. What kind of relationship? What's the quality of the relationship that you're having? And what are you missing within that causes you to behave in ways that doesn't trust your partner? Did he do something? Okay, well then why? Why would you be intimately involved with people who have demonstrated behaviors that cause you to feel unsafe around them? Because a lack of trust is a lack of safety. And that's because you're not totally connected within. That's what I would say about that. I hope that helps. Notifications. Oh. Okay, Salvo is saying, I feel like drugs can trap somebody in the mind at the age they started taking them. For example, did you take drugs at 18? You're stuck at 18, an 18-year-old mindset. That's certainly true for the pharmaceutical drugs that have to do with anxiety and depression. I've seen that with my clients who are on medicines, and it stunts you. It actually stunts people, is what you're saying, and I agree with you. Not just extracurricular drugs, but pharmaceutical drugs can, psychotic drugs can stunt you at the age in which you started taking them. So let's say that you started taking, antidepressants at 18 or 25, and you're now 35, you've been on them for 10 years. When you go off of them, your emotional maturity would be at the level where you started the medicines. And then I would also suggest that you still have to do the healing that caused you to want to go on the medicines. That did not go away because you took the medicines. So let's just say you're 35 now and you went on these medicines at 25 because you couldn't manage, right? You were struggling. And some people need that, and it's okay for short periods of time potentially. That depends on you. But I would say that that's problematic in relationships when you have a 35-year-old person who's been medicated for, let's just say, 10 years, and they're emotionally not mature. That's going to cause some relationship issues. Certainly, you're going to have aspects of trust that need to be addressed, but more importantly, those things that cause you to go on the medicine still need to be addressed. And most people that go on medicines are just trying to push through and get through life. That's not the purpose of our life. Our purpose is to evolve, evolution. Everybody's going to have challenges. How we approach our challenges is what needs to be addressed. So when I have clients that say, hey, Kiannaa, I want to develop team trust, I will do that. But what is the chances that a team that has behaviors that are established they're not trustworthy, right? These behaviors of lying, cheating, manipulation, withholding information causes people to feel the incongruency. And why would you be on a team that has these? Because the law of correspondence, you're going to attract these things. So the leader that called me in to address trust, he needed to be willing to address trust within himself. Do people always want to do what they're asking others to do? No. Will they do it to the capacity in which they can? Potentially, but that capacity is going to be dictated not by one person, but by the collective. So now you have a collective consciousness going on within a group of people, and that impacts trust. And do most people look at that? Absolutely not. I don't know one other consultant that ever looks at the collective consciousness of groups. I've never met them. That doesn't mean they don't exist, but I never saw them in my field, ever. And in fact, the ones that were trying to just do in one-on-one coaching instead of consulting, how effective were they at changing the behaviors of that one client in respect to the team? Not very, because you must have a sense of what's going on in the collective of where that person is engaged. So a collective could be a family, it could be a team, it could be anything. So. Okay. I'm just looking for questions here. Kevin is asking, do I trust my doctor to make me feel better? No. No, it's not his responsibility. So no, absolutely not. It's my responsibility to feel better. Nobody is responsible for my feelings but me. And the same is true for you. So to have an expectation that a doctor is responsible for you feeling better is misguided. That's misinformation, and that would be a reversal in currents. Nabet, I don't think I'm here to resolve your problems. Let's say I figured out my values. And let's say they're not congruent with my past. The past is not how you determine your values. First of all, I would say it's not my responsibility to resolve your problems. I'm trying to give you some really solid aspects in which you could take action. Once you figured out your values and you know that they're not congruent, then you have to look at who are you becoming to align with those values. You don't take your values and place them on the past. That's illogical. So what I would say is that your thinking is really not logical, Nabet, and that's because you're not really willing to get out of your own way. You must look at your values and then use your values to dictate your past, your future, not your past. Your past is the past. You want to learn from your past. You don't want to operate from your past. Salvo. So you're saying the law of correspondence for one person can disrupt a whole group. Well, if they attract negative energy. Okay. What I'm saying, first of all, I wouldn't say negative or positive energy. It just is, okay? So the law of correspondence is essentially you are creating from the inside out. That's the law of correspondence, essentially. So if you are having an experience of negative energy, you must address that from within. You can't, that's why when I work with teams and they say, oh, this person's the problem person. No, that person is representing an aspect that needs to be addressed, but the person is not a problem. The person may have behaviors that are indicative of the entire group. So how do you address that? You address it within yourself. And yes, Salvo, what I'm saying is if you address that incongruency within you, it will shift the energy of everything. That's how powerful we are. Kevin is asking, do I trust God looks after me? I don't really understand this question. I think God and creator and source energy are at and a part of absolutely everything. That's what the law of one is. So do I trust that? I know that. So I guess if you're asking if I know this, the answer would be yes. I trust God and creation over what people tell me 100%. Nabet is saying, the point is my past is haunting me. The past isn't haunting you. You're mind locked on the past. That's what's haunting you. And you have not done anything to resolve what has occurred. So, hey, Nick, good to see you. Nickname. I love it. Cute. So your past does not haunt you unless you have a lack of mental discipline in your mind. The past, everybody's past, even from this year, if I were to look at my year, I would look at my year and I would look at it and say, okay, what needs to be resolved? Is that what it is, Ned? NAB. NAB, I'm just going to suggest this, and this goes for anybody and everybody, but look at your life and just look for in the past year. What aspects need resolution? What people or relationships needs to have some type of resolution? and write their names down. And then do your best to correct whatever you did wrong or whatever needs correcting to the best of your ability. Now, I live from my heart. I trust myself, but sometimes I say things and I might hurt somebody's feeling on accident. So what would I do? I would go and correct it. If I didn't correct it in the moment or at the time, which I try to do now, I don't wait until the end of the year. I used to wait until the end of the year to do this, but now I do it all the time. Like if something needs to be corrected, I correct it. That's what you do when you're aligned within. You don't wait for things to get so bad and build up. You correct it now. So NAB, look at your life, look at your relationships, and what relationships need to be healed. Write those names down. And then decide, do I send them an email? Do I send them a message? What do I need to do to resolve this? And a simple note or an email will go a long way to correcting things. Okay, I finished my tea. I'm going on to my coffee. Kevin is asking, do you trust your partner cooking? What does that have to do with anything? I trust myself over my partner, but my partner does cook much better than I do. I am very good at boiling water. All right, y'all. So it looks like I've answered all the questions. Peter, do you have any questions on trust? Because I have this from our list. And even it could be from how trust from your past or something like that. Did I address trust in a way that you feel is helpful? Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Peter. I'm glad that I was able to address that. So in closing, I'm going to give you the 4 aspects real quick. 4 aspects of trust are, first of all, to know that if you don't trust yourself, you're not going to trust others very much, okay? So that's the law of correspondence. The inner world creates the outer world. We don't look to trust other people. We always look to see what's within us and our inner wisdom to understand how to trust others. That's number 2. Listen to understand your inner guidance. If you don't understand how to interpret your inner guidance, you need to develop that skill. You must learn how to connect with your heart. Make that a practice, okay? When you make that a practice, you will have what's called confidence, because confidence comes from trusting yourself, from trusting within. It's not about trusting other people. It's not about trusting them. It's about trusting yourself in relationship to them and trusting the inner guidance that you're getting in relationship to others. And the 4th and most important aspect that I am going to say here is that to build aspects of trust, you must be willing to see other people clearly. The lack of seeing people clearly will create misguided distortions in trust. Now, it can be painful to see people the way you want to see them, because eventually they will show you who they really are, and oftentimes it will be uncomfortable. So what I will say here is thank you for participating and for your questions. Thank you, Peter and Oliver, for jumping on here and helping as moderation. I really appreciate you and appreciate your time for being here and helping this chat go easier and smoother. And I will also say I'm Kiannaa Sadge, and I guide people to peace. And I do that through energy psychology. That is to align within your heart, mind, body, soul. Okay? I am here every day for this video series of the 366. I come on live for a live chat. I usually present content at the very first part, and then I go into Q&A about that. I do that from 12. I jump on here anywhere from 12 to 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you have a question or a comment, please leave it on here so I can get to it. I'm happy to make this content something that is valuable and to you in your alignment. And this week, I am integrating the law of correspondence into all of my discussions on here so you all can understand the natural laws in practical application. Knowing that all the laws are always in operation, but I'm only going to focus on one per week moving forward. So cheers to being in sync. I'm Kiannaa Sadge. Have a great day. Thank you for being here. Namaste.